in the field light, all day light, all night light, on the blue light, on fifth light, defense light, this wild light, house call light, in the sound light, in the sound light, in the sound light.
When building a foundation, it's important to find solid ground, break it down, remove everything that doesn't need to be there, and start from the bottom and work your way to the top. You take your time, you lay it down, you do it carefully, you do it smart, so that you don't have to go back and keep redoing it over and over and over again. Building a football team is no different. The difference is that you will have people in your ear all putting their 2 cents in, telling you, what you're doing is wrong, don't do that, don't let this guy go, don't bring this guy in, don't do all of that. But hey, the most important thing is to find a plan, get a plan, and keep that plan. Teams like the Vikings, the Giants, the Bears, and the Lions have all figured out that it takes a team a while to build up before you talk about doing anything else. And let me be clear, when I say team, I mean the entire organization. I'm talking about from the front office to the water boy. Everyone has to be on the same page and know what's going on and buy into what they're selling. If you don't have that, then you don't have anything when it comes to winning anything in this football league. Take Minnesota, for example. Everyone was scratching their head and trying to figure out what the hell was Minnesota thinking, trading away their 12th spot to Detroit. But then you look at what they traded for. They ended up giving up the 12th pick and the 42nd pick, giving that to Detroit, and receiving the 32nd, 34th, and 66th pick in the draft. And with the 32nd pick, they picked Louis Singh out of Georgia, a defensive back, which, last year was garbage in their secondary. So this improves the Vikings' defensive side of the ball. So with them doing that, that is taking the necessary steps to get to what they need. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. You're not going to like all of it. But if it gets them what they need, then sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and do what you got to do. Well, how about the guys in Detroit going into their second year of running that organization? GM Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell. What about those guys? They haven't been doing anything except adding monster after monster after monster to the roster, making the defense and the offense of the Detroit Lions even scarier as time goes on. With last year's draft picking up Penei Sewell as a tackle, and then in this year's draft trading with Minnesota to get Jameson Williams for their second pick in the first round, and then with their first pick getting Aiden Hutchinson, defensive beast coming out of college, out of Michigan. It's all about putting pieces together so you can chase something, and these guys are on the verge of chasing things. They're a little bit further ahead than the other clubs, but the formula is still the same. If you want to build a championship team, you need to have men with winning mentality to your roster, to your front office. They need to be there, and that's exactly what the Giants did. They brought in new GM Joe Shane and head coach Brian Dable. Both of those guys coming from the Buffalo Bills. Both of them knows what it takes to build up a team that has winners on it. Now, they didn't win the Super Bowl in Buffalo, but they are not far off, and the fact that they're bringing their talent to the G-men is a complete upgrade to what the Giants have had lately. And it showed in the draft when they picked up Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau in their respective picks in the draft. The G-men are real about this, and with them adding that mentality, the winning mentality to their ball club, that enhances that brings a different aura to the Giants. It makes them, it gives people hope in the Giants organization, I like to think. And as far as Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, hey, this is a make or break year for them. They're either going to be a part of the solution or they're going to be part of the problem. And I assure you that both of these guys will not let it last any longer than it's been, and they can be on the right track, or they can pick of the litter in next year's draft as well. And I know I'm going to catch all kinds of hell for my fourth team on the rise, but I really need people to open their minds and stop being so closed-minded about the Chicago Bears. I know y'all were surprised and upset that they traded away Khalil Mack. At first, I was puzzled like hell. I didn't know what they were doing. Like, how could you trade away from it? But if you think about it, getting Khalil Mack in the first place kind of sort of really hurt the Bears, because when they picked him up, that was more so a win right now mentality instead of a builder team mentality. And since they didn't do anything with the previous men that were in charge, Khalil Mack just was sitting there going to collect all this money. So the Bears' new GM, Ryan Poles, decided to say, hey, we need to make a move on this. I need to do something so I can bring in and rebuild and make a championship team. So they traded away Khalil Mack for a second and a 6th round pick. And with those picks, they went ahead and got Kyler Gordon and Jawan Brisker. I think I'm saying his name right. Those are studs in their positions. Those are studs, and they needed that in their secondary. So it's all about, yes, you're not gonna like everything about a team. When you're in rebuild mode, you're not gonna like everything your team does. But at the end of the day, you need to sit down and think, what benefits my team? And having Khalil Mack on the Bears did not benefit them moving forward. He was getting older. He was mostly on the bench last year. So why am I going to pay all this money to this guy who can be injury prone? So he can give him his chances in L.A. with the Chargers. Maybe he can make something about himself. But as of now, the Bears' mentality is rebuild, build around Justin Fields, redo their defense, redo all of that. And as unpopular as it may not be, it's the right move. And it's moves like this that has me believing that all 4 of these teams are on the rise. The personnel they've brought in have shown sparks and shown flashes of knowing what it takes to build a good football team. The only question now is, will they stay consistent and maintain? Only time will tell with that.
Inspire your troops today. Inspire your troops today.